we may be able to talk a little bit about the error correcting end of things as well, but we've got an awful lot of ground to cover today, and just wanted to get started as quickly as we could. So thank you for coming, and we hope that this is helpful to you. When you decide to work with Dragon, we know you've got a lot of thoughts in your mind that you need to get onto that computer. But the question is, how do you want to get it there? Where do you want to do your dictation? And when do you want to do your dictation? By looking at the answers to those three questions, you'll be able to more intelligently decide what device you may want to purchase to help you in your dictation. So I want to go over today some of the different answers to these three questions, and then look at how that will affect the device that you would choose. We'll go over what some of the devices are, the more popular devices are that we have for sale at HTHEngineering, and see what one might fit best into your particular workflow. The first question: how do you want to dictate? Do you want to dictate at the computer? Well, if you want to dictate into Dragon while you're at a computer, then you've got a couple of options. The first is headsets. Dragon comes with a headset microphone in the box. It's a very good microphone, and we'll go over in a little while some of the characteristics of that microphone. But headsets is one option that you may want to choose. The second would be a handheld microphone, and we have several of those that we'll be looking at today to show you what the different features are. Thirdly, there are desktop microphones. And we have a couple units like that you may want to choose from. But what if you don't want to dictate sitting right there at the computer? What if you want to be on the go? Now, by on the go, I really have two things in mind. First, some people just want to be free to move around the office, to not be sitting right there at the computer staring at the screen, although it's often a good idea to watch your screen if you're having dictation go in at that moment, and we'll get into that some as well. But do you want just the freedom to go around in your office, or do you want the freedom to dictate anywhere in the world you might happen to be, even if you're not near a computer? And we'll look into a couple of options for that. The first is Bluetooth headsets. Obviously, that would give you the freedom to be a little further away from the computer. But you still would have to be within the range of that headset, and we'll talk about that some. The second would be a Bluetooth handheld microphone, and we'll look at what we have in that regard. And the third would be a digital recorder, and obviously that would give you the freedom that I mentioned earlier to be anywhere in the world, even if you're not close to a computer, and do your dictation. Now, you're not going to be able to get it into Dragon right at that moment, but you'd at least be able to get your thoughts put down in a digital format where they could then later be sent to Dragon for transcription. So in deciding which kind of a device you're going to work with, the first question you want to ask is, how do I want to dictate? Do I want to dictate at the computer or on the go? The second question, where do I want to dictate? Do I want to dictate at the computer where corrections will be made eventually? Whether they're made right at that moment or by somebody else later, do I want to be right at that computer? If you do, then the more probable choice would be one of the microphones. It doesn't make a lot of sense to dictate into a digital voice recorder if you're going to be sitting right at that machine right then. So the more probable choice would be the microphone. The less probable would be the recorder. If the answer to that question is, no, I don't want to be at the computer where the corrections will be made, I want to be somewhere else, then the more probable choice would be a recorder, and obviously less probable would be a microphone. So as you're weighing your options, look at that answer. And what you may find is that the answers to the 3 different questions will overlap in certain ways, and in that overlap is where you're going to find the device that will be best for you. The third question, when do you want to dictate? At the moment when corrections will be made? Well, then the more probable tool would be the microphone, and less probable would be recorder. Do you want to dictate at some other time and not when the corrections will be made? Then the more probable choice would be a recorder or a microphone. A microphone if you're using a word processor to dictate into, if it's going to be receiving your dictation. And we can get into, as a matter of fact, I'll take a few moments here to talk about how that would work. Dragon has the ability, if you're dictating into a word processor, something where you're going to save a document, Dragon has the ability to save what's called a DRA file along with that document. That DRA file is a recording that Dragon makes of you dictating. And then there are controls built into Dragon that allow you, when you open that word processor document back up, to play back your voice dictating, to hear what you said while in your word processor. Dragon points at the words as they're being said. And that makes it easier sometimes to spot the discrepancies between what was said and what Dragon thought was said. And then you can pause your playback, make your corrections, and then continue your playback. So that does make it possible, just with the tools that are built into Dragon, to make corrections after you have dictated. But the more probable is usually going to be the recorder if you do not want to dictate at the time when corrections are going to be made. Now, if you want to dictate at some time other than when the corrections are going to be made, then the less probable thing is going to be a restful evening at home, because you're probably going to be dictating there, aren't you? I know you guys, and I just bet that's what's going to happen. So as you look at those questions and make up your mind about the answers to each one in your particular workflow, your particular work scenario, you're going to find a balance in one device or another, or multiple. There are many people who will set up more than one input device with Dragon, and that's it's really easy to do, and can allow you to be flexible in your dictation, to do one thing right now and another thing tomorrow or whenever. So look at your work style, your workflow, and see which one of those which one of the devices that we're going to be looking at will help you the most. Let's look first, when it comes to actually thinking about the devices, let's look at headset microphones. As I mentioned earlier, there is a Plantronics headset that's included with Dragon. Comes in the box when you buy the full version of Dragon. It doesn't come with the upgrade version, but with the full version of Dragon, there's a headset microphone. all of the microphones we're going to be talking about today are noise reducing or noise canceling. You really want that feature in a microphone for use with Dragon, because you don't want all the background sounds of people walking past and doors opening and closing and another person in the room sniffing or whatever it is, freely getting into the microphone just as much as your voice is, because that's going to make it obviously extremely difficult for Dragon to transcribe your dictation accurately. So all of our microphones are noise canceling. That's just going to be the first thing we're going to see on all of them, so I won't even need to repeat that. This microphone has, at the end of the cord that comes out of the earpiece, two 3.5mm mic-in jacks. Those they're little pin-type plugs that plug into the standard old earphone jack plug, the round circle in tape recorders and radios and computers. But there's also this thing that looks like a flash drive or memory stick. People call it various things, but no, that's not what that is. It's not a USB memory drive. It's a 3.5mm to USB converter. This converts the cable from the 3.5mm jack into something you can plug into your USB port. And that really is the preferred way to use it, because when you do that, it converts your headset microphone into a unit that acts as its own sound card. It bypasses the sound card of the computer and acts on its own behalf, and you generally will get better results that way than you will going through your computer sound card. So that comes with it in the box. So when you buy Dragon and you see that thing, it's not a free memory stick that we've thrown in just to be nice, although we do want to be nice. This microphone offers you the freedom to use your hands while dictating, maybe just because you're like me and gesture even when nobody can see you. But maybe you want to be able to handle papers on your desk, hand things to the patient or whatever. This will give you the freedom to use your hands while you're dictating, because you won't have to hold a microphone of any kind. However, movement is limited to the length of the headset cord. It's going to have to be plugged into the computer's USB port at all times. So at all times while it's in use, obviously. And so you will be limited there into just how much you can move. The next headset microphone that we want to look at is the Andrea NC181 headset. This is a headset that can be purchased separately. We sell it on our website, or if you call in to our order line. With a 3.5mm mic-in jack or a USB connection. It does not come with an adapter that allows you to switch back and forth or whatever. You would have to purchase the one you wanted. Obviously, then the ideal situation would be the USB connection, because that's going to bypass the sound card, as I mentioned earlier, and act as its own sound card. It also, the USB version has a mute button and volume controls in line that allow you to adjust your earphone volume to what you hear, and also allows you to mute and unmute the microphone. Rather than turning Dragon's microphone on and off constantly, you can leave that microphone on and just use the mute button as a way to stop Dragon from responding to your voice. It offers you, again, the freedom to use your hands while dictating, but movement is going to be limited to the length of the headset cord. So that's going to help determine whether one of these headsets is what you're looking for. The third and final headset microphone is the Plantronics SavvyGo Bluetooth headset. You can wear it either over the ear with this attachment or over the head with this attachment. And then you can switch them back and forth. It snaps on and off and allows you to wear it whichever way you find more comfortable. The Bluetooth connection by means of this USB dongle allows greater freedom of movement. You cannot pair this directly to the Bluetooth capabilities of your computer, of your laptop or tablet. You do have to use the dongle in a USB port, but it does allow you greater freedom of movement, up to a 210-foot range for that headset away from the computer. Now, that is line of sight. As soon as you start getting walls and file cabinets and things like that in between you and the computer, then the range is going to be reduced quite a bit. But as you can see, that will give you some flexibility in your dictation. I was just working with a guy the other day, helping him get his SavvyGo set up, and he was walked out of the room and down the hall to the door of the next exam room, and it was still registering on his computer. Now, those results may vary, and of course, the further away you are, the more possibility there is of distortion in the signal. So Dragon's accuracy may suffer, and in addition, you're not going to see, if you're far enough away from your monitor, you're not really going to see errors that appear. And so if Dragon transcribes something incorrectly, you won't see it at that point. But this does give you greater freedom of moving around than the corded ones. You can charge it by means of the USB cable or the upright charging base that's included, and you would, with your purchase, get all of the cables needed to make this work as well. Perhaps, though, for you, a handheld device would be better than a headset microphone. I know some doctors have expressed to me the thought of that they think it as kind of inconsiderate or unsightly to be sitting in a patient room with this thing hanging off their ear, and so they would prefer a handheld microphone. That's going to vary depending on the individual as to what your style of work is going to be. But the first of the handheld microphones that we're going to look at is the Nuance Power Mic. It used to be the Dictaphone Power Mic, and unfortunately my graphics still shows Dictaphone up here. But the microphone really has not changed that much since Nuance got the rights to it. But the Nuance Power Mic really is the most popular of the microphones that we sell to work with Dragon. All of the drivers needed to make this microphone work are built into Dragon, so no outside software is necessary. As you'll see as we progress here, some of the others require another program to be installed, but nothing else needs to be installed for this microphone to work. It has 10 programmable buttons. Everything from here up is programmable, and on the back there's a trigger. That's not programmable, but that trigger and this button over here are a left mouse click, and then this is a right mouse click, and then this button, this thing right here that's recessed into a little round well, is a little lever that you can push in different directions, and it moves the mouse pointer around. So you don't actually have to switch back and forth between the microphone and the mouse to navigate your screen. So it doesn't take over for the mouse. The mouse, you can go ahead and use the mouse if you're more comfortable with that. It just adds some additional functionality so that if you like that, you can use it that way. But the other buttons from here up can have responses assigned to them. Certain ones, a good number of them that are built into the drivers so that you can just choose this or that or the other response when you click any one of the buttons. But also if you write a template or macro for Dragon, and that template or macro is something you use very frequently, you can actually assign it to a button so that whenever you push the button, it'll run that macro or template rather than you having to say the name of the template to trigger it. This microphone comes with a 9-foot long USB cable, so it does give you some freedom of movement, more than some others might. But it has mouse controls that I just went over with you. And the push-to-talk feature is really one of the greatest strengths of these handheld microphones. This will be true of all of them as they are set up by default. But even the talk button, the one with the red dot, is programmable, so you can change how this behaves if you want. But the push-to-talk feature requires that you hold the button in while you're speaking to Dragon and expecting Dragon to respond in any way, such as putting text in your document or obeying a command that you're giving it. This push-to-talk feature, though it may sound like an inconvenience at first, is really a great strength of these microphones, because one of the most common mistakes that I see happen with people dictating is that they forget to turn the microphone off. The nurse comes in from the next room, starts talking, asking questions about the next patient or whatever, and you turn away from the screen and you start answering the questions, and you don't think about that microphone being on. And by the time you turn back to the screen, you've got a ton of unwanted dictation in your document. Well, the push-to-talk feature helps avoid that, because it's almost a reflexive action to take your thumb off the button when you go to talk to somebody else, or when your attention is turned away from the computer. It really helps a great deal. The second handheld microphone I want us to look at is the Philips SpeechMic 3. These handhelds have a lot of overlap in their features. The programmable buttons and things like that, and so there are just a few things that make each one a little bit unique. This one has 9 programmable buttons. You've got 3 function buttons here. You've got these 4 buttons here that can all be programmed, and then these 2 buttons at the top here can be programmed. This is a mouse wheel and a left and right mouse click, and then there is are 2 triggers on the back that can be programmed, actually. So that I had forgotten that when I wrote 9 here, excuse me. You've got a number of buttons here, and the Philips Device Control Center software allows these buttons to function outside of Dragon. That's the one drawback to having the drivers of the power mic built into Dragon. That does increase the ease with which you can plug it in, set it up, and use it. But this allows you to program the buttons to function even if Dragon is not running. So you may want a certain thing to happen in Microsoft Word if you push the button that is unrelated to Dragon. You can program it to do that. As long as the Device Control Center is open, which is just a small tray icon down by your clock that monitors for button pushes and carries out the commands that have been programmed for them. An additional feature of this is that it also allows the buttons to be combined with Control, Alternate, and Shift keys. So instead of just having 9 functions available, you can combine it and have Shift F1 or Control F1 and program a different function for that. In addition, you can program a given button push or button and key combination to do one thing in Microsoft Word and something else in Microsoft Excel and something else in whatever program. So you've just got a hugely wide variety of things that you can program into these buttons using the Philips Device Control Center. It also has mouse controls, as I mentioned with the Power Mic. And it comes in 2 configurations. The one you're seeing here is push button. You would push and hold the button with the red dot in to do your talking. But it also comes with a slide switch operation where you would use your thumb to push a button up, to push a lever up, a slide up, and that activates the recording, and then you pull it down to turn the recording off. Again, the push-to-talk feature avoids accidental dictation. The third microphone is the Philips SpeechMic Air. It has the same programmable buttons that the SpeechMic 3 has, the same Philips Device Control Center software with the same button programming capabilities, same mouse controls, same push button or slide switch operation. Now obviously you can't change that from one to the other. It's a decision you would make at the time or before you order the device. You have to order one or the other. And that push-to-talk feature that helps avoid accidental dictation. But in the case of the SpeechMic Air, the Bluetooth connection via a USB cable that goes from the computer to the charging base, or you can see a little thing sticking up in the back here. That's called the Air Bridge, and it can be removed from the base and plugged directly into the USB cable that goes to the computer, and that way you can have it on, for instance, a laptop and move around with it. But the Bluetooth connection allows you up to a 33-foot line of sight range. It's significantly less than the Savvy Go, but it still gives you quite a bit of freedom to walk around the room and do any dictation that you want to do within that room or outside of the room within a line of sight. So you've got not the hands-free, but the cord-free dictation with the advantage of the programmable buttons and the push-to-talk feature that you would be lacking in the Savvy Go. So it just depends on how you want to work and how your workflow is going to progress, which microphone you would want. Now we also have, as I mentioned, desktop microphones. These are the GN3 and the GN USB gooseneck microphones. You can dictate from up to 24 inches away as long as the microphone is pointed straight at the speaker. It is a very directional microphone, and so if you walk off to the side, it's going to lose you. So you don't want to be all that far away or move to the side, but you can point it at where you're sitting when you talk to your patient and not have to worry about being right there on top of it. So it does give you some liberty of movement within the room, although in a straight line. The GN3 has 3.5mm mic-in jacks, or a 3.5mm mic-in jack to connect it to the computer. The GN USB is, well, USB. So it has all of the things that I've mentioned before about USB functioning as its own sound card. That also allows it some additional features that cannot be done with the 3.5 millimeter jack. That is, it gives you the freedom of hands-free dictation without a headset, but that would apply to either one of them. But the USB model has an on-off button, this little red button down here. You can't have that on the 3.5 millimeter jack one. And it has a light that lights up behind the head of the microphone to indicate on and off. Those two features are possible because a USB microphone can get electricity from the computer through the USB port. That's not possible through the 3.5 millimeter jack, at least not enough to run features like that. So we have those two microphones available as well. But if you want more freedom, you want to be able to go further than just into the next or out of the room to dictate. You want to be able to dictate anywhere. Then you're going to want to look into a digital dictation recorder. There are some limitations on their use in the sense of ease of use. It does become a little more complex working with an electronic medical records program because the recorder is going to give you one continuous body of dictation. It's not going to jump from one field to the next of your electronic medical records program to fill in the appropriate details in the appropriate place. That means if you're going to be using it with an electronic medical records program, you will probably need to have your text, your dictation transcribed into a word processing document, and then have someone, after corrections have been made, copy and paste the appropriate parts into the appropriate fields of your electronic medical records program. So it does have a little additional complexity in the back end of things, but it does give you the freedom to dictate while you're on that business trip and you're away from your computer or whatever, and get the dictation back to be passed through Dragon. The first one we're going to look at here is the Olympus DS7000. This is the flagship of the Olympus line. This is their business dictation recorders. The improved microphone design, its improved isolation from the body of the recorder, reduces the noises that you can pick up from handling the unit while you're recording. Sometimes just on a digital recorder, just moving your thumb a little bit on the recorder can create noise in your recording. This microphone has much better isolation from the body, acoustic isolation from the body of the recorder, so that you don't pick up those noises. And that can be a real strength if you're sending it to Dragon for transcription. In addition, they increased the size of the microphone over previous models so that you get improved pickup. They've really redesigned the whole microphone so that it is far superior to the microphones that they had in the past. The large color screen is easy to read, and you can program what things are shown on the screen to customize it to your needs. It has slide switch operation. You just push the lever up to record. It's actually a 4-position switch, so it handles record, stop, rewind, and play. And fast forward, I believe, as well. There's a button just above the slide switch that just says new on it, so that some doctors want to make, today is the 29th of August, and then they'll dictate all of their patient notes for all of their patients into one huge file. Other doctors want to create a separate file for each patient. And so the new button makes that simple. If you don't press the new button and you press the record button, it continues the current recording. If you do press the new button, then press up to record, it starts a whole new file. The Olympus Dictation Management System software that comes with the recorder automates file movement and speech recognition. When you connect the recorder to the computer, it can be set up, it can be configured to automatically recognize the presence of the recorder, pull the files off the recorder, and then automatically begin the process of speech recognition. There are also features built into the dictation management software for making your corrections that are really handy. And for somebody who's going to be doing that on a regular basis, there is the AS7000 transcription kit that we could talk about at another time that allows you to control the playback with a foot pedal and type into whatever, or make corrections, in the document that Dragon has transcribed. Has some really cool features for the editing and correcting. This unit comes with a docking cradle / charger that simplifies your connection to the computer. You don't have to find the end of the cable that's been buried under some papers on your desk or anything like that. The cradle just sits there connected to the computer, and whenever you want, you just place the recorder in the cradle, and within about 10 seconds roughly, all of your files will already be moved over to the computer. In addition, you can leave it there and it will charge the lithium-ion batteries, or battery singular. So that can be a very good option for those who want the freedom to dictate anywhere. The second recorder is the Olympus DS3500. It has the same improved microphone design that the DS7000 has, uses the same lithium-ion battery that the DS7000 uses, has the same screen readout and function buttons on the front and control buttons, very, very similar to the 7000. The main difference is that it's push-button operation instead of slide switch. You would have push buttons to control rewind and playback and record instead of sliding the switch up and down. And again, the same Olympus Dictation Management System software comes with this and automates file movement and speech recognition. But it does lack the docking station that comes by default with the DS7000. So you would just have to connect it by the included USB cable. The next recorder is the Philips DPM 8000. It's a new model, just came out recently, and the redesigned microphones offer improved conference recording and dictation pickup. It's got two different kinds of microphones built in. The one kind is used when you've set it to record a conference, and the other is used when you're dictating and are holding the microphone fairly close to your mouth. So each one is optimized for its particular type of usage. It has a wear-free slide switch that should last you many, many, many years. The color screen, once again, easy to read. Durable stainless steel construction. All of these recorders that I'm showing you today are metal bodied. They're built tough, but with lithium-ion batteries, they're lightweight and easy to work with. The Philips brand recorders that we're looking at today come with SpeechExec Pro Dictate software, which automates file movement and speech recognition. It does many jobs that are similar to the Olympus Dictation Management System software. And it comes with a convenient docking station and charger. in one unit. The next recorder would be the Philips DPM 9600, and we're going to see that on this one, the voice commands can streamline your dictation, the ability to use some voice commands to control the unit. One-handed slide switch operation, which is true of any of the slide switches. They all make it easy to operate things with one hand. The same metal construction and the same Speech Exec Pro Dictate software. You don't have a full color screen, but it is a large display that allows you to read things easily, and comes with a convenient docking station / charger. Then there is the Philips DPM 9500. Again, voice commands, one-handed slide switch operation, the metal construction, the software, and the convenient docking station. It just has some limits that the 9600 does not have in some of its features. So those are the microphones and recorders I wanted to go through. But now let me just take a minute to talk to you about HTHEngineering Incorporated. We are a company that is, among other things, a true engineering company. We have engineers on staff who can do custom programming and customizing of different things for different needs. You can contact us for those things. But we also sell both our own brand and other companies' brands of pretty much anything you may need for dictation and transcription, from Dragon products to digital recorders and microphones to call-in recording systems on the dictation side. And then on the transcription side, we have our own Start-Stop branded products for transcribing audio recordings and video recordings. Different products for different needs in those regards. And then we also sell the Olympus AS7000 transcription kit and the Philips transcription kit to allow you to control the playback of the audio file, the digital audio files that have been created using a foot pedal. You can have confidence as you deal with us. We are a Dragon Medical Elite Partner with Nuance. We're certified as a Master Digital Center for Philips and also as a certified partner with Olympus. So we work closely with the companies that provide the products that we sell and are approved by them. You can contact us by phone at 866-254-0714. That's 866-254-0714. Or you can go to us, see us on the web at www.startstop.com. Contact us. We're glad to give you real-time quotes on these products and help you customize your purchase for your needs. We'll try to answer any questions we can, gather information about how your workflow is going to progress, and help you make the wise decisions that need to be made to make your system work for you. So that's our presentation for today. Are there any questions? You can put them, you'll find on the control panel on your screen some a section for questions, or in the chat window. I have one question came in here. Do you have a demo to show? Unfortunately, I don't have a webcam, so I'm not able to show you me using anything. So I didn't bother preparing a demo. of just the plain use of Dragon, but we are more than happy to set up a demonstration where we would link you to one of our computers and show you the features of Dragon and how accurate it is and how quickly it can transcribe. I apologize that I didn't expect to have time to do any demonstration of Dragon itself either. If there are any other questions, go ahead and type those in, and we'll be glad to try to answer them for you. All right, if there are no more questions, then I want to thank you again for coming, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. You all have a great afternoon.